Hello YouTube, this is Mage Power here, and today I have a deck profile from a deck that topped the El Salvador Remote Duel Extravaganza last weekend. This deck went 4-0 in the main event, and it went 2-1 over Dino, 2-1 over Zodiac Eldritch, 2-1 over Virtual World, and 2-0 over Pure Eldritch. And this is a deck I wouldn't expect to do such things. This is World Chalice with a dragon twist. So it's kind of Dragon Link-esque, but it's World Chalice. It's interesting. Anyways, getting into the monster lineup, this is Franco Boscano's deck. This is Archlord Christia. This is a one-of. You have one copy of Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, one Carbonetin, one Chaos Dragon Levianeer, one Gamma-Seal, 3 Lee the World Chalice Fairy. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one World Chalice monster from your deck to your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send one monster from your hand or field to the graveyard. Add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Mathematician, Omni Dragon Brotar, one Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, and I apologize, there were 2 Mathmans, 1 Brotar, 1 Red MD, 3 Agent of Creation Venus, 1 White Dragon Wyverbuster, 2 copies of World Chalice Guard Dragon, 3 copies of World Legacy World Chalice, 1 copy of Alexandrite Dragon, this being quite a throwback here, 1 chosen by the World Chalice, and 3 Shine Balls. Obviously the 3 Shine Balls for the 3 Venus. And then you have the Chosen as a Psychic for, he's playing Emergency Teleport. So this being the only Psychic monster in the deck is a little weird in my opinion, but he is playing the E-Tele. Continuing on with the spells, you have 1 Called by the Grave, you have 1 Foolish Burial, you have 1 Kyoto Waterfront. I've seen in the past people play this to search Gamma-Seal, put Gamma-Seal on the field with something like a Saryuja, be able to build up your counters and get a negate, plus being kaiju proof is nice. So I understand that strategy. You have Monster Reborn, Terraforming for your waterfront. 2 copies of this card that I cannot say on YouTube because it'll get me dinged, but let's just say it modifies levels. So I can't say that first part, you can read into that however you want. 3 copies of Unexpected Die. He is playing the normal monsters in the deck, so this does make sense. 2 copies of World Legacy Guard Dragon. Having a lot of dragons in the deck, this does make sense. 1 copy of World Legacy Succession. And then he has 3 traps, 1 Red Reboot, 1 Phantom Knights of Shade Brigadine, and 1 World Legacy Sorrow. This card is a counter trap. It's an Infernity Barrier while you control a co-linked monster. It's a pretty good card, and I've said in the past this card's actually a pretty good penny stonk. If you want to go out and check the market, I'm pretty sure it's maybe a quarter, if that. It's a pretty good card for any link-based strategy. World Legacy and World Chalice, it's a good strategy for links, this being a good option in there as well. So moving on, we have the extra deck here. We have 1 Apollosa, 1 Guard Dragon LP, 1 Guard Dragon Pisty, 1 Masquerena, 1 Ib the World Chalice Priestess, 2 copies of Imduck the World Chalice Dragon, 1 copy of Lib the World Key Blade Master, 1 copy of Link Spooter, 1 copy of Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax, 1 copy of Ningirsu the World Chalice Warrior, 1 copy of Protector Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman. I'll be honest, I don't understand why this is in here. I would think Heavenly Spheres would be a better option if you're just going to play a Link to Dragon. This card feels out of place in my opinion. Then we have 1 Salomon Great Almirage, 1 Saryuja Skulldread, and 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. That is it for the extra deck. Then we have the side deck. We have 3 copies of Artifact Lancia, 3 copies of Godarla, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 3 Blizzards. This card, you target a face-up spell your opponent controls this turn, negate the activated effects of that spell, and all spells on the field with that same original name. If the targeted card would be sent to the opponent's graveyard this turn, it is added to their hand instead. You can only activate one Blizzard per turn. This card's an interesting card because you can play it on literally any spell card at the cost of giving it back to your opponent. But I don't know. I feel like just back row removal in general is better. However, he is playing a different kind of back row removal later on. We'll see that. There's 2 Dark Ruler No Mores. Obviously, going second into big boards is problematic for a deck that like this one that does lose to like only 1 or 2 negates. And then he's playing 2 copies of Typhoon. Target a face-up spell or trap on the field, destroy it. If your opponent controls 2 or more spell or traps and you control no spell or traps, you can activate this card from your hand. This card is seen play, I know, back when pendulums were a thing. This is a card that I think honestly is pretty good, but it just gets outclassed usually by cards like Twin Twister, Cosmic Cyclone. So it's a little surprising to see it here. There were some interesting choices, and obviously feel free to let me know down in the comments what you think of this. Another note, I'm not that well versed in World Chalice, so let me know your thoughts if I'm on the right track with some of these choices, if you think there's some things that you would change in this. However, it's very notable that this was a 4-0 deck through the main event. He didn't say exactly what place he finished, but it's interesting. I would also note that he is playing Gameciel and Waterfront, so the choice to play 3 Godarla in the side deck is interesting. I would almost have considered to have put maybe Interrupted Kaiju Slumber in there over maybe one of them, and then maybe play a different Kaiju besides Godarla as well. Maybe play the Insect level 7, Humongous. It's interesting, and I do like the concept of this deck, but I do think overall there's some work to be done, especially in side deck choices here. Again, if you like this video though, please, like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitch, up above, twitch.tv/magepower. I will be streaming a lot more in the coming days, putting more videos if I can, and I appreciate any support you guys can throw my way. Anyways, I appreciate you stopping by. This is United We Stand, and Mage Power We Trust.